Hey everybody, it's another edition of Unbreakable podcast. It was Monday, August 18th. This edition, we're doing TV classic in a week. We're going back to the 60s again. I learned my lesson. But back to the 60s, doing a great old show. Before we do, there he is, our patron saint of the broadcast, Bud Bud, Tongue Man. There he is. We love you, Bud Bud, and miss you. Yeah, this is a great show. I got to do the theme song, no words. See if you can guess what it is, right? Da, 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 da. And it goes up. Da, 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 neater. Get Smart. That's the show. Get Smart. Get Smart with Maxwell Smart and the great Don Adams, starring Don Adams. Now you remember Get Smart. It was a show based back in the 60s. There was a big popularity of spy shows and spy movies like James Bond. James Bond was really big back then in the mid 60s. Goldfinger and all these great spy movies. That was the big thing. Our man Flint with James Colbert. Yes. I can't remember what I had for breakfast today, but I can remember that. So they went to NBC. No, let me tell you the story. Mel Brooks, our favorite, Mel Brooks, the guy who made Blazing Saddles, Young Frankenstein, all those crazy men. Mel Brooks decided to put the show together, create the show. And they went to ABC first, which we're going to talk about. They wanted to do a spoof, a comedy version of a spy show. So that's how this whole thing started. We'll talk about that in a minute. And it's just about that's all it's right. It's just this bumbling, wacky spy who's trying to combat the they never say who, Russia or whatever, all these different agencies that are trying to take over the world, like the James Bond villains do. And instead of James Bond, they have a guy named Maxwell Smart, who is our best agent. If he's our best agent, how did we win the call? Right? I'm just saying. But he's very bubbly, he forgets things. Yeah, it's a little goofy guy, but here's the thing. He does have his attributes. He knows his stuff. Maxwell Smart is trained in like jujitsu and like all the stuff that James Bond is. So that's why they keep him on board. Anyway, his code name is Agent 86. And the reason they named him 86 was because when they 86 you out of the casino or out of a show or something, that means they're forcibly removing you from the premises. So I don't know, Mel Brooks and Buck Henry, those were the two main creators of the show. They decided to do Maxwell Smart agent. His code name was Agent 86. And he worked for the agency called Control. Control, all capital letters, was the spy agency of the United States. And not only did they base the show off of James Bond, the other one that was really popular back then was the Pink Panther movies. Inspector Clouseau with Peter Sellers. That was a big thing. And of course, the great Don Adams, who was a plumber before he took over the role of Maxwell. So he's sort of scared at that. He played last game, so he won the movie. So yes, they offered to show to ABC. They decided to pass on it. NBC picked it up, and the first show of Get Smart was on September 18th, 1963. Now they needed a sidekick with Maxwell Smart. So they hired Barbara Feldon, great actress. I think underrated comedic actress as his sidekick, Agent 99. They never, throughout the series, they never said what her real name was. They only called her Agent 99. In fact, later on down the road, when Maxwell Smart gets married to Agent 99, during the part where they say their vows, I, Agent 99, taking you, Agent 86. Well, during that part, a guy is snoring. A guy is snoring in church or wherever they're having their wedding, and it's so loud that he drowns out the part. We can't hear the part she says what her name is. So anyway, the head of the agency, control agency, his real name was Edward Platt, and they just called him Chief all the time. His real name in the show was Thaddeus. Get Smart ran for 5 seasons, 65 to 71, and 138 episodes of the show. And that theme song that I tried to sing for you when I first started, da 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 that was written by a guy named Irving, whatever. Shut to his pants. I don't know his name, but Irving wrote it. So what happened was, Get Smart was on 5 seasons. It was actually on for 4 seasons on NBC, and then it went to CBS for 1 season. Ratings weren't good and canceled. But you don't see that often anymore. Think about that. You got a show, say you got Abbott Elementary on ABC, right? And all of a sudden, you find it on NBC. Hell, right? Back in those days, that happened. With shows kind of crisscrossed channels and stations. There were some very famous catchphrases from Get Smart, especially from the mouth of Maxwell Smart. Like, for instance, sorry about that, Chief. Sorry about that, Chief. By the way, the voice of Maxwell Smart, was very distinctive. And I don't know if you remember a cartoon back then, Tennessee Tuxedo. The Tennessee Tuxedo. It used to come on Saturday mornings. Don Adams was the voice of Tennessee Tuxedo, and the same voice, Maxwell Smart, he used for Tennessee Tuxedo. Would you believe that? In fact, that was the other one of the yellows. Would you believe that? Would you believe I fixed my microphone over the weekend? Would you believe this is a bottle of water? Anyway, and the other catchphrase was, "This to buy that much." So let's say Don Adams shoots a bullet out of his shoe or something, and this is the guy's head, and Don Adams would say, "This to buy that much." All right, dude. TV Guide, you know how they do all these rankings. The opening credit sequence will Get Smart, where Maxwell Smart goes into the control headquarters, and he goes through all these doors that was closed behind to the very end. That was ranked where he finally bumps his nose. That was ranked as the number 2 all-time greatest opening sequence of the time. All time. And of course, we have the good guys who control, the bad guys with chaos. Chaos, capital. That word is being the enemy, the villains, work for chaos. And the famous thing was Don Smart used to, the Maxwell Smart, Don used to talk into his shoe. That was an old gag started by Beck Brooks, who again wrote, conceived of Get Smart, wrote some of the early business. So in order to talk on the phone, like James Bond might have a wristwatch with his phone in it, which we have nowadays. Yeah, but it's very surprising. Think about it. Back in the James Bond 60 days, Get Smart, they had all these contraptions, like you're talking to you, to your watch, shoe, but some of these have really come true. There are watches that use it. So play off of the phone to watch thing gets what did in the shoe. So for Maxwell Smart to talk to someone on the phone, he had literally had to take his shoe. And that was the really good, so anyway, so what happens is that Mel Brooks, they created the shoe. And they offered it to ABC first. Well, ABC actually did it, won it. And the reason was because ABC wanted to tailor it. So they wanted to put actors, this up serious, they wanted Mel Brooks to include a mother. Maxwell Smart would go home every night to his mom, or a dog. They wanted to become, they called the show Un-American. They wanted to tame it down. And Mel Brooks said, no. This is a wacky spoof of spy movies. We're not doing that. So they took it over to NBC, and NBC bought it. Now, even though some of the show see and read, actually almost every script that gets done was no one wrote. Everything was okay, I mean, there would be one show, there would be like a machine. It was kind of real black book where Don Adams had lived all of these elements. Because Don Rickles, all these guys were friends back then. Don Rickles was friends with Don Adams. Don Adams was not only an actor in the show, but he was a producer. He directed 13 episodes of Get Smart. He wrote 2 episodes. So he had a big part of Get Smart. And he said, yeah, okay. But Don Rickles said, you know what? You ought to try that living sometime, I mean, you're really smart on your feet. Maybe it'll go down. And that's the only show he did, but apparently it was good. It was good. So Maxwell Smart, the character of Maxwell Smart, again, TV guide, right? Maxwell Smart, the number 19 TV character of all time. For the 50 greatest characters in TV history, Maxwell Smart was number 19. Not bad. Not bad. And Agent 99, Barbara Freeman, all during the show, is in love with Maxwell Smart. But she doesn't know how to say it. She doesn't know how to break it to him. Because he's really kind of dim-witted, and he's not picking up things very well. But so all this time, she's in love with Maxwell Smart until the very end, where they hit it off and they get married. Some other characters in the show that you might want to know. The chief. The chief's real name was Thaddeus, and his code name was Q. Q as in quick. Some other characters, there was an Agent Larrabee. He was played by a guy named Robert Palvalis, who was actually Don Adams' real cousin. Sort of another bumbling idiot type of spy. There was a guy named Ludwig van Ziegfeld. He was a villain. And Jaime the Robot. Jaime the Robot, way ahead of his time, back in the 60s, there was another character. And Agent 13 was a middle agent. who would hide himself in trash cans, washing machines, vending machines, things like that. And we talked about the phones being in the show. They took it another step. As you can imagine, Mel Brooks took it over the top. They had phones in neckties. They had phones in fingernails. Like one episode, Agent 99, Barbara Feldon is biting on her nails. It looks like she's biting on her nails, but in reality, she's talking on the phone. So anyway, they kind of took that a step further, you know. Maxwell Smart always had this little red two-seater car that he drove around in. And in actuality, it was a 1965 Sunbeam Tiger, which Don Adams owned. He owned this car. And after Get Smart was canceled in 1971-ish, that car rode for Don Adams for another 10 years. And that was his baby. He took care of that car. He loved it. And the show Get Smart was a lot of fun. It was just a lot of fun to watch. It must have been a lot of fun to be on because they attracted a lot of celebrities. Let me just give you a little list of who came on the show during those 5 seasons. Bob Hope, who was big that day. Milton Berle. Ernest Borgnine. Yeah, the guy from the Kells Navy. Leonard Nimoy. God, this Mr. Spock from Star Trek was on that show. Johnny Carson was a guest star on that show. Julie Newman. Oh, Julie, the Catwoman of Batman. What a beautiful woman. In fact, I just saw a picture of her the other day. Can you believe Julie Newman was 91 years old? And I tell you what, she looks great. Absolutely great. She looks better than any 91-year-old male or female that I've ever seen before. I'm just saying, Joey Newman and Steve Allen was on there. Carol Burnett herself, who was an icon, was on Get Smart. Now, Get Smart never really was a big rating show. Like it never made number one. The highest it ever made was number 12 in the Nielsen ratings, and that was during the first season of Get Smart. The second season, 22, not bad, but you could see it was tailing off a little. And then after that, the next 3 seasons, it never cracked the top 20. It just kept going down. But Get Smart in its time did win 7 Emmy Awards. 3 of those were won by Don, the best comedic actor. And finally, there was going to be the Get Smart movie back in the 60s. Now, don't get me wrong, they later tried to revive Get Smart again back like in the 81. Actually, the show was called Get Smart Again. That didn't work. They tried to do a movie spin off or whatever in the 90s. That didn't work. Mainly because Mel Brooks had moved on. Mel Brooks had moved on to his own movies. So he wasn't involved with the show. He wasn't writing scripts anymore. He moved on. And when Mel Brooks moved on, a lot of the wackiness moved on with him. But there was planned a Get Smart movie in the mid-60s to take advantage of the popularity of the show. However, they canceled it. And you know why they canceled it? Because, do you remember the Munsters? The Munsters? The Munsters were real popular show. Along with Batman. Batman had his own movie. The Munsters had their own movie called Munster Go Home. Munster Go Home. And that was such a big flop. Such a big turkey expensive too, that to get smart producers said, yeah, yeah, maybe we shouldn't. So they did it. That's why the movie, the plans for it to get smart movie kids because of the monsters. I'll just say. Anyway, so that's our classic TV show of the week. Get Smart. I'll wrap it up here. Get Smart. I used to watch it. It was okay. I liked it. It was funny, but it was never one of my favorite shows back then. It was okay. Don't get me wrong, but I used to watch other shows more consistently. And put it that way. The Addams Family. I watched it religious, and there were just some other shows that I enjoyed more. So the Beverly Hillbillies, or Lost in Space, or some every. Um, so Get Smart was okay. It was okay, but it wasn't on the top of the list, so to speak. But it's a good show. If you happen to find it somewhere or stream it, check it out. Maybe you'll like it. It was a goofy, spoofy thing. It was okay. It was okay. We have yet to have telephones in our fingertips. No, that has yet to happen. Maybe in the next year or two. We'll just say, but that has yet to happen. 50 years maybe. Okay, everybody. Well, thanks a lot for watching. Thanks a lot for tuning in, listening. I have another episode that I taped earlier of the weekend review. You can check that out. But this episode will be up soon on YouTube and on my homepage at Twitter. So you can check this out all during the week until we do our next TV classic. Everybody have a good day. Peace and love. See you next time. Bye.